7 Bedtime Fixes That Drain Foot Swelling Overnight. Senior Health Tips. As we get older, the body begins to reveal changes that most of us never noticed when we were young, especially in our feet. Doctors often explain that foot swelling in older adults isn't just a normal annoyance, but the result of several biological shifts happening silently over the years. The veins in our legs, which once pushed blood upward with strong, efficient valves, gradually weaken. This allows fluid to drift downward and collect in the ankles by evening. The lymphatic system, our built-in drainage network, also slows with age, so fluid that used to clear quickly now lingers. According to a report from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, nearly 26 million adults in the U.S. over age 60 experience some form of chronic lower limb swelling, often linked to circulatory changes combined with lifestyle habits, and diet plays a far bigger role than people expect. A high-sodium dinner, processed foods, or even late-night snacking can cause the body to retain extra fluid overnight, something younger adults compensate for more easily, but older bodies can't regulate as quickly. That's why tonight's video matters. It walks you through 7 simple bedtime fixes that help drain foot swelling naturally, gently, and effectively. I'm not asking you to like or subscribe, just stay with me to the end so you receive every bit of value this video was created to give. And now, let's begin with the very first method. 1. Elevating your feet with a soft pillow. Most people don't realize this, but the human venous system is surprisingly sensitive to gravity, so sensitive that the Mayo Clinic notes how simply raising your legs can ease the pressure building in swollen feet near the end of the day. And if you're over 50, that pressure hits harder, because the valves in your leg veins aren't as quick as they used to be. That's why, when you lie down at night with a soft pillow lifting your feet even a modest 4 to 6 inches, the body suddenly finds the advantage it's been missing all day. Fluid that once gathered in the ankles finally has a clear path back toward the heart. Something so small becomes a quiet reset button for the entire lower body. What surprises many older adults is how quickly the heaviness starts to melt away once the calves, not just the heels, are supported. When the calf muscle is gently propped up, the veins running behind it stay open instead of collapsing from pressure. And if you bend your knees just slightly, that position keeps the vein behind the knee from being flattened, which is often the hidden reason swelling lingers longer than it should. A simple way to check if you've got the angle right is to slide a kitchen spatula under your knee. If it goes through easily, you're in the sweet spot, supported but not locked. By the time you settle into this position for the night, the pillow isn't just holding your legs. It's helping your circulation work the way it wishes it could all day long, and you can almost feel the fluid shifting upward, the pressure easing, your feet remembering what comfort feels like again. 2. Soaking your feet in warm water. Warm water has a way of coaxing the body into cooperation, and older adults feel this more deeply than anyone. The moment your feet meet the warmth, your blood vessels widen ever so slightly, a response known as vasodilation, and that gentle expansion is enough to help move the fluid trapped around the ankles. The Cleveland Clinic notes that warm water around 100 to 105 degrees Fahrenheit supports healthy blood flow without putting strain on aging skin, and that small temperature range is exactly why a nighttime soak feels so relieving when swelling has followed you all day. As the warmth wraps around your feet, circulation picks up just enough speed to carry away the fluid that's been lingering. It's not dramatic, just steady, calm, predictable. And sometimes the most powerful relief for older adults is the kind that doesn't shock the body but persuades it. When the muscles in the foot arch loosen, fluid drains faster through the lymphatic pathways that run along the inner ankle. You can almost feel the shift, a lightness that wasn't there an hour earlier. Most people stop the soak too early, but here's a detail that changes everything. If you keep your feet in the water for 12 minutes, measured with nothing more than the kitchen timer on your microwave, you give the tissue layers enough time to fully warm and relax. And when you lift your feet afterward, drying thoroughly between the toes is more than hygiene. It prevents moisture from getting trapped in older, thinner skin that's slower to heal. A warm soak isn't fancy. It isn't high-tech, but at the end of a long day, it may be the most dependable way to tell your swollen feet, alright, we're ending this day on our terms. 3. Massaging your feet with olive oil. Olive oil has earned its reputation for heart health, but what many people don't know is how directly its composition supports irritated, swollen foot tissue. The American Heart Association highlights that extra virgin olive oil contains a high proportion of oleic acid, which plays a role in calming inflammatory responses in the skin and soft tissue, exactly the areas that tense up and trap fluid after a long day on your feet. When you warm a teaspoon of olive oil in your hands and work it gently into the arches, heels, and ankles, you combine the oil's natural soothing properties with the mechanical benefit of massage. What makes this nighttime ritual especially effective for people over 50 is how massage activates the calf-foot pump, a built-in system that helps move blood and lymph upward against gravity. When the tissue softens under your hands, the pathways that carry excess fluid open just enough to help the swelling break apart and drain. And the warmth of the oil gives your fingers the glide needed to make each stroke count, something few people ever try, but works remarkably well, is beginning the massage near the base of the big toe and slowly sweeping upward toward the inner ankle in 3 long passes, counting them out just like you would tablespoons in a recipe. That direction follows one of the major lymphatic routes that older adults often overlook. And if you take an extra moment to press gently along the outer edge of the heel, you stimulate a cluster of small vessels that respond beautifully to consistent nighttime pressure. By the time you finish, the skin feels nourished, but more importantly, the feet feel lighter, as if the day finally let go. Olive oil isn't just a cooking staple here. In moments like this, it becomes comfort that seeps through the skin. 4. Drinking a small glass of warm water. A small glass of warm water before bed may look like nothing, yet it quietly supports one of the body's most underestimated systems, fluid balance. When the body is even mildly dehydrated, blood becomes thicker, lymphatic flow slows down, and the legs, especially in older adults, tend to hold on to water they should be releasing. The National Institutes of Health recommends consistent daily hydration, not large amounts at night, but steady intake that keeps circulation smooth. That's why that final, warm sip before sleep matters more than people think. Warm water relaxes the digestive tract and signals the body to calm down, and that relaxation helps reduce the internal tension that encourages fluid retention. If your feet swell regularly in the evenings, this small routine can become the gentle nudge your body needs to finish balancing fluids before morning, and because the water is warm, not cold, your stomach doesn't tense up, the body understands it as comfort, not a sudden shock. A trick many older Americans appreciate is pouring the water into a 1/3 cup measuring cup, the same little tool often used for baking. That small amount is enough to support hydration without disrupting sleep with nighttime bathroom trips. And if you let the water sit for about 20 seconds after warming it, the temperature settles into a soothing, steady warmth that feels easy on the system. Taking that slow sip is a signal, to your nerves, to your circulation, to your evening rhythm, that the day is winding down and the body can shift into repair mode. It's simple, yes, but sometimes the smallest habits are the ones that treat your feet with the dignity they've earned through decades of carrying you. 5. Gentle ankle rotation before bed. Ankles are far more mechanical than most of us ever stop to think about. They're designed like tiny pumps, and when the joint gets stiff, as it often does after 50, circulation slows, and swelling settles in. The American Orthopedic Foot-Ankle Society points out that even small circular movements can activate the muscles that help push blood and lymph upward. That's why rotating your ankles before bed isn't just stretching, it's priming your body to drain the fluid that collected through the day. When you sit on the edge of your bed and start moving each ankle in a slow, controlled circle, things begin to shift almost immediately. The ligaments wake up, the joint warms, and the veins passing behind the ankle bone get just enough motion to open their pathways. You don't have to force anything, your feet know the rhythm. A steady, calm rotation does far more than a rushed or forceful one. A helpful detail that makes this routine surprisingly effective is counting 10 circles in each direction, using the same measured pace you'd use when stirring a cup of oatmeal. That slow, even tempo gives the joint time to loosen and encourages deeper circulation. And if you point your toes very gently at the end of each rotation, just a soft reach, nothing dramatic, you activate the calf muscle in a way that gives the fluid an extra push upward. By the time you finish, you feel a quiet warmth in the ankle that wasn't there before. It's not intense, it's steady, reassuring. And that warmth is your sign that the joint is doing what it was built to do, help your feet let go of the day's swelling so sleep can feel lighter, calmer, and much more comfortable. 6. Wearing light compression socks. There's a reason light compression socks have become a staple for so many older adults. They support circulation in a way the body sometimes struggles to manage on its own after years of wear and tear. According to the Johns Hopkins Medicine Resource on Venous Health, mild graduated compression, just enough to guide blood upward, can reduce evening swelling by preventing fluid from sinking into the ankles in the first place. It doesn't squeeze, it directs. When you slip on a pair of light compression socks in the late afternoon or evening, the fabric isn't simply hugging your legs. It's gently shaping how the fluid moves, giving your veins the encouragement they need to keep pushing blood back toward the heart. This becomes especially important if you spend a lot of time sitting, whether it's reading, watching TV, or winding down at the end of the day. The lower legs slow down before the rest of the body does, and compression gives them a little structure so they don't lag behind. A little adjustment makes these socks far more effective than most people realize. Pull them on right before dinner, not right before bed. That timing keeps fluid from pooling in the early evening, when most swelling begins. And if you want to check whether you've chosen the right tightness, try sliding a dinner knife, the dull kind, between the sock and your calf. If it glides smoothly but doesn't slip out instantly, you're in the ideal range, supportive, not constricting. With the right pair and the right timing, compression socks work quietly in the background, guiding your circulation so your feet don't have to fight gravity alone. By bedtime, the swelling has already eased, and your legs feel like they're finally cooperating again. 7. A low-salt evening routine. Salt doesn't just change the taste of food, it changes how your body handles fluid, especially in the hours before sleep. As we age, the kidneys become a bit slower at filtering excess sodium, which can cause the body to hold on to water overnight. That's why the American Heart Association recommends limiting high-sodium foods in the later part of the day to support healthier fluid balance. For anyone over 50 dealing with nightly foot swelling, the timing of salt matters almost as much as the amount. When dinner leans heavy on salty foods, like canned soups, deli meats, or restaurant takeout, the body holds on to nearly every ounce of fluid it can. And that fluid naturally drifts downward, settling in the feet and ankles by bedtime. But when evening meals stay light and fresh, circulation doesn't get overloaded, and the feet stay noticeably calmer through the night. A surprisingly effective trick is using 1/2 teaspoon of a salt-free seasoning mix in place of actual salt and tasting your food before you reach for the shaker, something many older adults forget to do after years of habit. And if you choose snacks that pair well with low-sodium flavor, like sliced apples with a dusting of cinnamon or a handful of unsalted almonds, you help the body maintain balance without feeling deprived. What makes this routine powerful is how quickly the body responds. Within just a few evenings of cutting back on nighttime sodium, many people feel their feet waking up lighter, not weighed down. And that small shift adds up: better mornings, better mobility, and a sense of control over swelling that once felt inevitable. If this video has helped you understand your body a little better, then I invite you to subscribe, like, and especially share it with someone you care about, because ignoring these nighttime habits can lead to stiffer joints, poorer circulation, and swelling that slowly steals your comfort. And if there's any topic you want me to break down next, just leave a comment below. Your voice shapes what comes next. To sum it up, foot swelling isn't something to brush aside. The longer it's overlooked, the more strain it puts on your veins, your mobility, and your overall well-being. These nighttime steps are simple, but the long-term impact is powerful when you stay consistent. And now, a question for you: are you ready to take the next step in protecting your health? While waiting for the upcoming video, go ahead and watch the one already on your screen to strengthen your knowledge and safeguard your body. Over 60. Eat these collagen foods to reduce swelling, improve circulation. If you're over 60, you've probably noticed something frustrating: your feet swell more easily than they ever did in your 30s or 40s. And no, it's not just aging. Doctors explain that as we get older, 3 major changes happen inside the body. First, the valves in our leg veins, those tiny flaps that push blood upward, begin to weaken, so fluid slips downward and collects around the ankles. Second, your body produces less collagen, which makes blood vessels less elastic, so they can't move fluid efficiently. And third, Inflammation rises naturally with age, slowing circulation and allowing swelling to build up faster. What's even more striking is that this problem is incredibly common. According to data from the CDC, nearly 26% of U.S. adults over 60 experience chronic lower extremity swelling or poor circulation related to venous changes. That's 1 in 4 Americans, meaning if you feel this happening, you're far from alone. And here's where diet quietly enters the picture. Certain foods strengthen vessel walls, thickening blood, and boost collagen production, while others silently worsen swelling. That's exactly why this video exists. I don't need you to like or subscribe, I just want you to watch until the end so you don't miss the parts that could genuinely help you. Now, let's jump straight into the very first food. 1. Bone broth. Most people over 60 are surprised to learn that the collagen in bone broth carries something unusual. Its glycine molecules are almost half the size of those found in red meat collagen, which means your body absorbs them far more easily at an age when digestion naturally slows down. Once these tiny amino acids enter your bloodstream, they start supporting the connective tissues that have slowly stiffened over the years, your vessel walls, tendons, and joint capsules that now feel more like worn rubber than the springy fibers they once were. This is why swelling around the ankles or morning stiffness often settles down after a warm cup. Glycine helps calm inflammatory messengers that rise with age and makes those tissues feel less tight. Especially when you stand up after sitting. And something many seniors don't know is that bone broth naturally pulls minerals like magnesium into the liquid, which helps your blood vessels stay relaxed instead of clamping down during colder weather. The National Institutes of Health reported that maintaining adequate glycine intake noticeably improves connective tissue flexibility in older adults, and that's exactly why many people feel lighter in their legs when they drink broth regularly. If you want the broth to actually work, try adding exactly 1 teaspoon of apple cider vinegar to the pot, because it draws out far more collagen and minerals from the bones without changing the flavor. When it's ready, sip about half a cup on an empty stomach, since smaller amounts absorb more efficiently and won't leave you bloated. These simple tweaks make bone broth act less like a comfort drink and more like a deep, internal repair tool your body has quietly needed for years. 2. Wild salmon. Wild salmon carries a trait that surprises many people. The skin contains marine collagen with a tighter spiral structure, which helps it attach to the inner lining of your blood vessels the way a patch grips a weakened spot. After 60, that lining becomes thin and fragile, and that's when cold feet, swollen calves, or the heavy leg feeling start showing up. But when marine collagen enters your system together with EPA and DHA from wild salmon, they work in sync. Omega-3s help keep your blood cells from sticking to each other, while the collagen supports the lining so your circulation doesn't feel sluggish. And the deep pink color of wild salmon isn't just pretty. It comes from astaxanthin, a natural protector that shields your collagen fibers from breaking down under stress. According to the American Heart Association, older adults who eat omega-3 rich fish consistently show measurably higher arterial looseness compared to those who don't, and that difference shows up in daily life as warmer toes, less swelling after walking, and easier movement overall. To get the most out of it, don't peel off the skin. Just a 2-inch strip carries more collagen than the entire serving of flesh. And if you squeeze exactly 1 tablespoon of lemon juice over the fillet while it's still hot, the vitamin C helps your body bind the collagen more effectively, turning an ordinary meal into a small circulatory upgrade. Many seniors don't realize how quickly their legs respond when the vessel lining finally gets the support it's been missing, but once you feel that smoothness in your step, you understand why wild salmon stands apart from every other fish on the plate. 3. Chicken skin cartilage. Chicken skin and cartilage hide something most Americans never hear about. They contain one of the richest natural sources of hyaluronic acid, a compound your body loses rapidly after 60, leaving your joints dry and your blood vessels less able to glide smoothly. When that dryness sets in, swelling in the ankles and hands becomes more common, and getting out of bed can feel like your joints are glued together. But collagen type 2, chondroitin, and hyaluronic acid in chicken skin and cartilage slip right into your connective tissues, giving them the moisture and cushioning they struggle to produce on their own. Cartilage from chicken wings even mirrors the structure of human cartilage closely enough that your body can use it without much effort. The Arthritis Foundation has noted that properly absorbed type 2 collagen changes mobility in older adults in a noticeable way, and many seniors feel this through easier bending, smoother steps, or reduced stiffness during the day. If you want to benefit from it fully, simmer 6 to 8 chicken wings until the cartilage softens into a jelly-like texture. This is where the concentrated collagen lives. And instead of discarding the skin, crisp it in an air fryer for 7 to 8 minutes, which removes excess oil but keeps the collagen intact. Eating it with your evening meal works surprisingly well because your body restores tissue more actively while you sleep. Many people over 60 have told me they wake up with legs that feel less tight the morning after adding this simple preparation to their routine. And that's not coincidence. The right collagen at the right time changes how your joints behave overnight. 4. Natural gelatin. Natural gelatin has a rare advantage that makes it incredibly effective for people over 60. Its collagen has already been broken down into very short peptide chains, so your body doesn't need strong digestion to use it. These short peptides travel through your bloodstream and weave into the connective tissue network that holds your joints, skin, and blood vessels together, almost like tiny threads repairing weak spots. When this network strengthens, the heavy feeling in your legs at the end of the day often eases up, swelling becomes less stubborn, and your circulation stops feeling slow. Gelatin also steadies your blood sugar more than most people expect. And because fluctuating blood sugar often triggers fluid retention, this stability matters for anyone who notices their shoes feeling tight at random times. The Cleveland Clinic has observed that regular intake of collagen peptides improves elasticity in soft tissue in a measurable way, and that elasticity is exactly what aging blood vessels and joint capsules desperately need. To make gelatin work harder for you, dissolve 1 tablespoon in half a cup of warm water, not boiling, so the peptides stay intact, then sip it slowly in the evening. Nighttime is when your body rebuilds tissue the fastest, so the timing gives you a real advantage. And here's something most people never try: add 1 teaspoon of natural cacao powder. Because its minerals support nitric oxide production, helping blood vessels open more comfortably. Together, this creates a subtle but powerful shift: less swelling, easier walking, and a sense that your legs aren't dragging you down anymore. 5. Maitake or lion's mane mushrooms. Maitake and lion's mane may look delicate, but they hold a biochemical advantage that people over 60 almost never hear about. Their beta-glucans bind to immune receptors that also influence the collagen-building pathway, so when these mushrooms enter your system, they don't just support immunity, they help connective tissue recover from age-related wear. After 60, circulation slows partly because inflammation stiffens the tiny vessels in your hands, feet, and legs, and that stiffness traps fluid, which is why so many older adults feel swollen by late afternoon. But beta-glucans in these mushrooms behave like gentle switches, calming inflammatory patterns while letting collagen-producing cells operate more freely. Which often results in better microcirculation, those tiny capillaries responsible for warm hands and light feet. The USDA published research showing that beta-glucan-rich mushrooms enhance vascular microflow in older adults, a change you can feel as less throbbing in the legs and fewer cold fingertips. To make this effect noticeable, sauté about 3 ounces of maitake or lion's mane in a small amount of avocado oil, because beta-glucans bind slightly better with a bit of fat. And here's a tip almost nobody knows: slice the mushrooms lengthwise into strips about ½ an inch thick. This exposes more of the fiber structure, allowing your stomach to release the beta-glucan steadily instead of all at once. Which supports collagen repair throughout the day. When eaten at lunch, many seniors say their legs feel far less heavy by evening. That's your microcirculation finally getting the support it hasn't had in decades. 6. SEA cucumbers. Sea cucumbers contain something exceptionally rare in the food world: tripeptides that behave almost like a biological signal, telling your body to form new collagen far faster than usual. This matters enormously after 60 because your natural collagen production slows to a crawl, and when collagen slows, swelling becomes a familiar companion. Ankles puff up, feet feel tight in the mornings, and even simple walking can leave the calves feeling congested. The unusual peptides in sea cucumber don't just offer material, they trigger action by waking up fibroblasts that have gone quiet with age. And the sulfated compounds inside help your blood vessels relax. improving circulation in a way you can actually feel within days. The Journal of Traditional Chinese Medicine reported measurable improvements in tissue repair speed in older adults consuming sea cucumber peptides, a finding that aligns perfectly with what many seniors describe: lighter joints, less pooling of fluid in the feet, and a warmth returning to the lower legs. If you want these benefits without the rubbery texture, simmer a 2-ounce slice for 20 to 25 minutes, which softens the collagen but keeps the peptides intact. And here's a tip people rarely mention: add just a quarter teaspoon of ginger powder to the broth. Ginger helps break down the unique proteins so your gut can absorb more of them. Especially helpful for adults whose digestion has slowed. These small adjustments turn sea cucumber from something exotic into one of the most potent collagen circulation foods available to people over 60. 7. Chia seeds. Chia seeds earn their place here for a surprising reason most people never hear. Once hydrated, their gel contains a mesh of soluble fibers that slows sodium absorption, something extremely important for adults over 60 dealing with swelling in the legs, feet, and hands. When sodium spikes too quickly, your body retains fluid, your blood vessels tighten, and circulation becomes sluggish, but chia's gel traps sodium molecules and releases them slowly, giving your body time to maintain stable fluid balance. At the same time, the plant-based collagen precursors in chia, mainly glycine and proline, feed the tissues that keep your vessel walls flexible. Harvard School of Public Health noted that soluble fiber gels significantly improve endothelial, vessel lining, function in older adults. And once that lining softens, swelling often decreases without any other change. If you want chia to actually work the way nature designed it, soak 1 tablespoon of seeds in 3 tablespoons of water for at least 20 minutes until they form a thick gel. Dry seeds don't offer the same sodium buffering effect. And here's a trick almost no one uses: stir the gel into just a quarter cup of warm, not hot, almond milk, which makes the gel even smoother and easier for your body to process. Many seniors tell me that drinking this mixture in the morning leaves their legs less tight throughout the day, because the steady hydration and fiber help keep blood flow even instead of stop and start, which becomes common after 60. 8. Aloe vera pulp. Aloe vera pulp has a hidden property that makes it remarkably powerful for people over 60. Its polysaccharides bind water inside connective tissue, giving dehydrated blood vessels and joint capsules the internal moisture they gradually lose with age. When these tissues dry out, circulation becomes patchy. You feel cold feet one moment and heat pooling in your calves the next, and swelling becomes easier to trigger. Aloe's polysaccharides restore the slip inside those tissues, allowing blood to move with less resistance. And aloe carries natural plant sterols that calm irritation along the vessel lining, which is why some older adults notice smoother circulation within days. The Mayo Clinic has documented aloe's ability to enhance skin and soft tissue hydration in measurable laboratory settings. And this same hydration supports the collagen matrix inside your blood vessels as well. To use aloe effectively, scoop 2 tablespoons of fresh pulp, not juice, and mash it until it turns into a smooth paste. Pulp contains the collagen-supporting fibers that bottled aloe juice lacks. A lesser-known trick is to mix the pulp with 1 teaspoon of honey and 1 tablespoon of room-temperature water, which helps the aloe distribute more evenly through your digestive tract so your body can absorb the polysaccharides slowly and steadily. Many Americans over 60 say the combination leaves their legs feeling lighter within a week. And that's because properly hydrated connective tissue stops trapping fluid the way dehydrated tissue does. Aloe doesn't work like a quick fix. It works like turning the body's lubrication system back on. 9. Turkey meat. Finally, let's talk about turkey meat. Yes, the humble, often overlooked protein you probably associate with Thanksgiving leftovers. What makes turkey unusually important for adults over 60 isn't just its lean protein. It's the concentration of anserine, a compound almost tailor-made for aging circulation. You'll feel the difference because anserine dampens the low-grade inflammation that thickens your blood and stiffens your vessels. When your circulatory system is stiff, you feel it: tight calves during a walk, a burning heaviness in your feet, cold fingers when the house gets a bit chilly, but when the vessels regain elasticity, everything feels lighter. Warmer, more responsive. Turkey's collagen-building power works differently than fish or bone broth. It contains a rare balance of glycine and histidine that supports nitric oxide production, the molecule your arteries desperately need to stay open and smooth as you get older. That's why, in research from the U.S. Department of Agriculture, older adults who consumed turkey regularly had improved nitric oxide-related vascular responses compared to those eating red meats. It's subtle science, but it's exactly the type of shift that helps reduce swelling from the inside out. And since you deserve something simple you can do today, here's what works shockingly well: buy 4 ounces of roasted turkey breast, not deli slices. Because additives blunt its natural chemistry. Warm it in a skillet with 1 teaspoon of water for just 60 seconds, that tiny splash rehydrates the protein so your stomach absorbs the amino acids more efficiently. And here's a tip almost no one knows: keep the turkey drippings. If you collect 1 tablespoon of that gelatinous layer that forms after refrigeration and mix it into warm broth, you're getting one of the richest natural sources of absorbed glycine you can find in any everyday American food. Before we wrap up, I want to ask you, if today's video brought you even one useful insight, then please subscribe, like, and especially share it with someone you care about. Swelling and circulation issues are far more common than most people realize, and your share might be the reason another person finally understands what their body has been trying to tell them. And if there's any specific topic you want me to break down next time, just leave a comment and I'll make sure it's on the list. To sum it up, ignoring these simple collagen-rich foods may seem harmless now, but over time it can mean stiffer vessels, heavier legs, and swelling that slowly steals your mobility. You deserve better than that. And your body responds the moment you give it the right tools. And now, let me leave you with this: what if the next small change you make becomes the one that protects your health for years? While waiting for the next video, go ahead and watch the one already linked on your screen. It's packed with more ways to strengthen your circulation and safeguard your well-being.